Should show of hands, from an internet search perspective, anybody using generative AI? I see one hand. For internal communications, is AI being used in any shape or form, like chatbots, messaging agents, Teams extensions, Copilot? Oh wow, okay. A few of them. Within the intranet, are you guys leveraging any tool set, both from a DMS vendor perspective or Copilot, for example? A couple of minutes, yeah. Not considering generative AI for intranet? Okay, no show of hands, that's fantastic. Not considering AI at all in the near future? Obviously not. Alright, so that sets a good tone for me to talk about, as I said before in my intro, I've been involved personally in over 300 plus implementation of SharePoint. I've been working with SharePoint since 1999. We've learned a thing or two about working with AM law firms, or law firms in general, building intranet portals. One of the key things we focus on with almost every law firm intranet is a search focus, basically focused on using possibly the power of generative AI, and I'm actually have a video to show you how a law firm could leverage generative AI in my next slide. But just in terms of leveraging Azure OpenAI service or even Anthropic or any other services to surface knowledge, sometimes hidden knowledge that is within your knowledge systems like time billing platform, DMS, and so on. So without just talking through it, I'm just going to show you a visual. And we'll come back to this slide. So what you're looking at on the screen here is basically a generative AI search in action. This is actually going against a SharePoint list that stores notary information. The next one will show you how it actually goes and searches against a time and billing database based on who I am, as it's a secure search. So to find matter details based on billing attorney or the status of a matter. And as explained on the screen here, I just want to kind of share with you some of the key other use cases we see from a generative AI and search perspective on the internet. One of the things you see there is a conversational interface. So basically search is no longer you're typing in a keyword to get a result. You're interacting with your search as if it's a human, a virtual human for the matter. So we call this virtual assistant search in a new modern law firm internet. This is a pretty good example of how it can find policies and procedures and do excerpts from that and show you actual content. This is so different than a regular search that we've been involved with in the internet, where you actually have certain keywords you want to search on, and it presents like links from NetDocs or iManage or DMS systems, and then you click on it to find the information you're looking for. With generative AI searches, what we're seeing with other law firms is that it can extract the content for you, and you can summarize it, and it can present it to you in a human readable fashion, as you can see here. And if you do this right, you can also do citations. So you can click on the document link that could be from NetDocs. You can just click on it and it opens in NetDocs, or from other sources. Now, Paul touched base on this in terms of personalized content delivery. So one of the key themes we see across every internet we build is persona-driven content and personalization. So really thinking about what is it that what persona the person belongs to, a working attorney or a billing attorney, as Paul showed you some examples, a professional assistant or a legal administrative assistant, is it a practice group leader. So really defining that persona set before you start that build of the internet, and also thinking through personalization features. Things like, for example, we see simple web parts like favorite links, where attorneys can go from click and go to their application that they're looking for. It's a huge hit. So looking at personalization features, some of the examples I show on the screen there, this is really cool, where the favorite links is actually being surfaced on the navigation itself. It's so popular that they don't want it to live on the home page. A specific form wanted that right on the navigation system. So I can just click on and access my link at any given point. And this link is personalized. So based on who I am, based on a persona, for example, I'm a billing attorney, I might see a separate set of links, and I can personalize it with my own set of links. So I cannot delete the firm mandated links, but I can add my own links. So that's the idea. This is a really cool example of alerts surfacing on your dashboard, on your home page. Like data that is flowing from multiple systems that's basically surfacing alerts. Now, we're working with a firm using generative AI. We're actually surfacing these alerts in Teams. I have an example of that later, which is pretty cool. And there's one more example of personalized content. You know, those looks at the phone directory. If you hover over your profile, you get edit buttons. Again, based on who you are, you might see certain filters getting exposed, certain predefined search getting exposed. It's really personalized as you use the application. So one of the things that we're also looking at from a trend perspective is Intranet either using generative AI or not, learning user personalization in terms of how the user uses the content, whether they're trying to use the internet, and the type of personalization they drive. So the internet learns and surfaces the content. And this is a really good example of how personalized content delivery based on who I am, where I am in the organization, your navigation system kind of renders different, in this case, people content. So they report my direct reports, or the person I report to, and so on and so forth. The other trend we look at is data integration. And Paul touched base on this quite extensively, so I'm going to probably skip over this. But the key trend we see with firms, especially on a current internet journey, the new modern internet, is data consolidation and tech like Microsoft Fabric. So we see a lot of firms, especially the AML firms, investing in Microsoft Fabric and using the power of generative AI and Power BI. You can surface some very intelligent dashboards. Some of the examples is Paul showed. This is my favorite. So this is a favorite topic of almost every session I speak at. What about Microsoft Teams? So with Microsoft Teams integration, as you can see an example, it's a very simple example, but a very powerful example of an intranet surfacing within your team. So the idea is that attorneys, if you're a Microsoft Teams, if you deploy Microsoft Teams, your attorney lives in Microsoft Teams from a chatting perspective or doing meetings and stuff like that. So it makes just sense for surfacing an intranet right within Teams. But we see a trend beyond embedding your intranet in Teams. So we see trends like, obviously, a DMS in Teams. So we have DMS vendors who have apps, or third-party vendors who have apps that you can surface DMS content in that context of a team matter. So let's say you create a matter-centric team, or a team for a client that matters at channels, whatever the design is. You can use Teams apps from net downtime management and so on to integrate that content right there. We also see a trend around announcements and news feeds. So the announcement news feeds on the internet. We are working with a customer, a law firm, where we're using, not to get too technical here, we're using Power Automate and Teams extensions to basically deliver that, proactively serve that news based on who I am. So basically, as soon as you open the team, you get a proactive alert, or the first thing you open the team, log in, you get a proactive alert pushed right into your team. So push notifications enable from your internet news announcements, news feeds. Task and workflow management is a big one. So we are doing a lot of integration with generative AI power with some of the tool sets like Copilot and Lights. But beyond that, also writing Power Automate workflows to basically integrate those task and workflow management tool sets right in Teams. And also integrating legal research tools, and I have a list here, like PM and case collaboration needs, HR time management needs. I actually have an example of a time entry using generative AI right from your internet. I'll show you an example in a second. And also some client and case management type of integration, all again in the context of your, I would say, the 2.0 digital workplace platform, right within Teams. Mobile's a big deal. Almost every firm, no internet we built in the last 2 years is not mobile ready. So it has to be mobile ready first. So mobile first is a key theme for any modern internet. It should not be an afterthought. So if you have an internet, or if you're designing an internet, or in the process of envisioning an internet, it should be mobile first. So mobile first is the key consideration. Every web part should render mobile. We've seen some partners get very upset that they don't see a financial dashboard load on the mobile because maybe Power BI is not mobile friendly. Those things you have to consider when you're designing a mobile experience. This is a really cool slide. It really kind of paints the future or present depending on where you are from an Internet 2.0 maturity perspective. But you can see here, we call Internet 2.0 or Intranet as part of a modern digital workplace. It's not the modern digital, it's not the workplace platform, but it's part of your non-modern digital workplace platform. And it's an integral part. Because with the properly designed intranet, you have an intranet now in Teams. You're getting notifications around time and billing data, your DMS content, everything is in Teams. And you can also surface intelligence, as you saw in my previous video, just by using natural language. So all of a sudden, your work product could potentially start from your intranet. And this shows an example of how I can find people at my fingertip using a mobile-ready phone directory. I have my digital dashboard right there, with my time and billing data, my intelligence right there. Or I can use a chatbot depending on this question you're looking at. The chatbot where you can do things like time entry, for example. So where do we go from here? So from an Internet 3.0 perspective, even though I call this the future, this is actually happening right now. We're working with some, I've been amazed right after COVID. We've seen a lot of law firms embrace technology beyond really simply my imagination. And we see generative AI obviously being a key theme as we think about systems integration, enhancing the internet. So one of the key things we're looking at, we're working with some firms is around Gen AI-driven personalization. This is a pretty heavy topic and probably take 30 minutes to talk about it. But at a very high level, the idea is that generative AI, the engine, whatever LLM you use, it can understand, it knows who you are. So it means that it can deliver both proactive and reactive content to you within your intranet. For example, the alerts that you saw in one of the screenshots, that could be a reactive alert that an assistant, a virtual assistant, push to you the first thing you log into Teams. So you have your digital dashboard being surfaced right in your Teams, basically part of your intranet, digital workplace, where these alerts are actionable alerts or just knowledge alerts, basically time billing alerts and so on. They get served up to you. So again, using generative AI, we can deliver personalized alerts, personalized content where attorneys work, and it doesn't have to be in a browser. It can be in Teams, it could be even in a Windows app. Same thing with hybrid work tools. So we are looking at surfacing content. Some firms use Zoom, so we are involved. We see a lot of firms investing in like Zoom apps and intelligence, again, chatbots that can get surfaced in that unified communication platform, again, to surface that intelligence. So really where work happens, remote or AI-powered knowledge management. On top of that, Intranet as a digital experience hub. The previous slide you saw that it really is, kind of has the ability to surface intelligence from anywhere now. So it doesn't have to be a complex SQL integration project that you work on. It could be simply a generative AI engine that can use connectors to connect your SQL data, your experience data set, and it can surface an intelligence really anywhere you want. This is a big deal, employee well-being, sentiment analysis. Obviously, Intranet is a tool for employees. So if it's not being used by employees and by attorneys, it's kind of useless. So one of the key things that we see Intranet's focus on a lot is well-being, really kind of shipping tools that really measures the attorney sentiment based on usage patterns, based on proper analytics. You can actually fine-tune an Intranet that is focused on well-being and mental health. Self-service automation workflows is a big deal. Most of you may know about this, but again, the idea is that with generative AI, a lot of this can be automated. I have a video that you'll see in a second how all this stuff is happening in an undelivered environment. You're not in front of a browser. And last thing, my favorite is augmented workspace. We are actually currently involved, not a law firm, but a general counsel, where they're exploring AR devices, basically an augmented reality extension. The Intranet is a digital workplace platform, but using the power of an X-real glass, which is an augmented reality glass, not an Apple provision, but an X-real glass, where you can play around with digital objects in your workspaces. It's just incredible. I'm happy to say that I can talk to you if you're interested in that. With the voice and conversational agent, again, really thinking about it, voice interaction is not something new. We all have Siri on our phones. This is really cool. So rather than just talking through it, I'm just playing this video. This is a live example. it play? Thank you.
Hi Bob, I am Pontiso Assistant. Before we get started, can you key in or say the one-time access code that I just texted you? Great. Thanks, Bob. You are now fully verified. How can I help you today?
Get latest documents for matter 124556.
So you get information on your fingertips, that's the idea. So you're on the go in a cab, it's untethered content access, secure content access, because it's your phone, you're getting multi-factor prompt. This is an example of a timesheet in action. So I'm not in front of a computer, I'm not in Teams. I'm using text messaging and the power of conversational AI, generative AI technology to actually update my time and billing platform, my timesheet application, could be Intap, iTimekeep, or whatever the application is. There you go, that's my presentation. Any questions? We'll open the questions and answers.